Hello, 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 and welcome back to my ASMR channel. Today we are doing a soft spoken video, which is why I'm not whispering. I'm really excited to film this video for you. This will be my first soft spoken one, so I hope I do a good job. And this was a requested video to do a soft spoken Q&A session with me, which I love that idea. I love watching other Q&As, so I'm really excited to dive into your questions, which I have written down. I do apologize that I'm not using a mic. I just got the new iPhone 15 and the cord that I have to connect my mic to my iPhone doesn't work because, of course, when you have a new iPhone, you have to get a new accessory for everything. So that's really frustrating, and I just realized as I sat down to make this video. So we are going ahead without any mic, so I do hope the quality's okay. Before we get started, if you're not already subscribed, I would love to have you as part of my ASMR channel. So go ahead and hit the subscribe button and let's jump in and get to know each other. So the first question I have is, what are your favorite ASMR triggers and least favorite triggers? So I honestly like a lot of ASMR triggers, but my favorites would have to be tapping, both slow tapping and fast tapping. I love scratching, especially like fabric scratches. That gives me such tingles. I love personal attention and like role plays. I especially love watching like skincare videos in ASMR. I would have to say, if I had to pick a least favorite, it would be like wet mouth sounds. I like eating ASMRs and mukbangs, but I don't love just like very close up mouth sounds. So yeah. Okay, the second question I have written down is, what travel tips do I have to share? I love traveling. I've traveled to, I would say, probably over like 23 countries at this point in my life. So I love to travel. Obviously, COVID stopped a lot of our travel, so I did get a little rusty. But some of my tips would be, obviously, to plan, some sort of an itinerary, but not have it be so rigid where, every hour or so has an activity planned. I really enjoy having like a loosely planned itinerary where you can still go with the flow, but you also have some structure and some activities and some reservations booked. So that would be my biggest tip. And then my second tip, especially if you are a woman traveling solo, to stay in contact with family and friends. Let them, know where you are when you're going to a new place, what hotel you're staying at, just so people can be aware of your surroundings. I guess my third tip is, try new things. Don't be too afraid. So many of my greatest travel memories and experiences were things that I was really scared to do when I started. I'm trying to think of an example from my most recent trip. I can't remember. Well, one example is bungee jumping in New Zealand. I was absolutely terrified, like to the point when we got up there, I was like, I need to turn around. I'm not doing this. I am not doing this. I bungee jumped about, I think it was like 440 feet in New Zealand. It's like the biggest bungee jump. And I was terrified, but it was great. I felt so empowered after, and it's a really cool story to tell. So yeah, I would take some take some risks, do some adventure when you're traveling, and put yourself out there to try new things. The next question, how did you and your husband meet? So this is also a travel related story. My husband and I met just about 6 years ago in Nicaragua, which is in Central America. I had just quit my job in New York City. I was going to be a digital nomad, travel and work for a bit, and Nicaragua was the first place I went, and I met him. He was staying at the same hostel I was staying in, and he was checking in, and I had already been at this hostel for a few days, so I was trying to get a beer. I was hanging out with my friends. He was checking in, and in the hostels, they had the beer, like, you had to ask someone at the reception area to get you a drink. So she was engaged with him and talking to him in Spanish, and I was just standing there off on the side like, oh no, I've been sitting here for like 3 minutes and she hasn't come over. Now this is awkward, I can't just leave. And he noticed me and was like, I think she just needs a drink or something. And I grabbed my beer and I walked along, and then he ended up hanging out with the group that I was friends with, and we spent a day exploring and we just connected. We sat next to each other at dinner and we could not stop talking. And then one thing led to another, and we've been together ever since, pretty much right from when we first met. I mean, we became exclusive within a few months. So yeah, that is that story. A fun one to tell. So another question I have was, what's one piece of relationship advice you'd give to a stranger? I love that question. I'd say the biggest thing, especially in my relationship, is finding someone and seeking out someone that you can be your true self with. I'm really silly. I'm really weird sometimes too. And my husband sees all of that. He loves and appreciates it. And I don't feel like I have to hide that silliness, that weirdness, that quirkiness that I have. So that would be my biggest piece, is find someone who you can be your whole self with and who actually like loves and appreciates those parts of yourself. Next question. How did you first learn about ASMR? I'm pretty sure that the infamous Cardi B ASMR video for W Magazine is what hooked me in. I remember seeing it and I was like, what is this? Like, this is amazing. So I think that was 5 years ago. But yeah, that's like the first ASMR memory that I have. So I'm pretty sure right around the time that video came out is when I was first introduced to this magical world. What inspired you to start making ASMR? So I've been watching ASMR for nearly 5 years now. And it was on my mind for a little bit, but of course everyone has doubts, like, who am I? Another ASMR channel, who's gonna watch me? Am I gonna be good? Like, let me just keep watching. But then, I don't know, one day I was like, just give it a try. The worst thing that happens is, okay, no one watches your stuff, no one likes your videos, you'll still have fun making it. So I just decided to go for it, and I really enjoy making the videos, and it's so incredible that I already have a little bit over 500 followers. So I'm so grateful for each and every one of you, and it really is fun for me to be able to have this creative outlet where I can, come up with video ideas and make some really good ASMR content. So it's nice to have that creative outlet. Okay, favorite chain restaurant? That's the next question. If I'm thinking fast food, probably Chick-fil-A. That is also my husband's favorite chain restaurant. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Chick-fil-A. Okay, the next question is best places you've traveled to. Oh, that is a really, really, really hard question to answer because I have loved so many places. But usually gauge that on like where would I want to return to. I absolutely loved my time in Guatemala. Was very surprised by the country. I loved it. Antigua, Lake Atitlan, stunning, really gorgeous place. So Guatemala would definitely be up there on the top places I've traveled to. New Zealand also. New Zealand is so stunning and gorgeous, and there's just something about it. We did a camper van trip, so that was also a really cool experience to be driving around and sleeping in a van. And then Bali as well was a really fun place that I traveled to. I spent like a month there and I absolutely loved it. So I could keep going, but I'd say Guatemala, New Zealand, and Bali so far. What are your goals for your YouTube channel? So I came into this to, you know, have fun, have a creative outlet, have an ASMR community, but of course I would love to keep growing. It would be so cool to start doing some, you know, brand sponsorships, things like that. Really cool collaborations with other ASMR artists would also be amazing. I love seeing the Secret Santa collabs that a lot of the ASMR community does, and I'd love to do one of those this year. So come on, someone hook me up, or maybe I'll start my own. But I love watching those videos. I think it's so fun. So yeah, I'd love to grow, keep making more content. My next goal will be to get a better microphone, probably a Yeti. So I think that would be the next step in my ASMR journey, is getting a better microphone and being able to have a bit better audio quality videos. All right, let's go on to the next page. What is your biggest achievement in life so far? I love this question. I would have to say starting my business, my PR agency that I own and run. I started this about 6 years ago when I started my digital nomad travel adventures, which, you know, led me to meet my husband and led me to have so many incredible travel experiences. And still being a business owner 6 years later, it's a really big accomplishment. It's not easy to be a business owner. So I would have to say that's definitely my biggest achievement so far, that I have a successful business and it's still going, and it's provided me, you know, so much flexibility. I've been able to travel more. I'm in control of my schedule, things that I really value. So that has definitely been one of my greatest achievements. Excuse me. I do have my coffee here, so I'm gonna take a little sip. Okay, who are your favorite ASMR channels? So I did write this down. All the other questions I've just been answering on the fly, but I did write the answer down to this because I didn't want to forget and space out. But Glass Half Full ASMR, she's been such a huge supporter of my channel and I absolutely love her content. I also really like Tina ASMR and Oceans ASMR. Those are definitely my top favorite ASMR creators. The next question I have is, what countries would you like to visit? I definitely want to go to Brazil. Brazil is definitely on my list. The Maldives as well. That just looks like an absolute dream. And I'd also love to go to the Philippines. Yeah, I was supposed to go to the Philippines about 6.5 years ago, but just plans changed and I never ended up going. So that is definitely on my bucket list. What TV shows have you been watching recently? So I just finished rewatching the original Gossip Girl. I am absolutely obsessed with that show. It took me a long time to get through it all, but I just finished rewatching it, so that was really fun. I've been watching And Just Like That, the Sex and the City reboot, which I've been enjoying. And then my husband and I just started watching SWAT. I know that's been around forever and there's like, I don't know how many seasons there are, but we've been watching SWAT. We just finished season 1, and we've also been watching Billions. What TV shows have you guys been watching? Okay, and then the last question that I have written down are, what are the top 3 books that I've read this past year? So I would have to say The Coworker, The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, that was so amazing, and Where the Crawdads Sing. Oh, an incredible book, incredible movie. These definitely stand out in my mind as like my favorite, my favorite books. Yeah. So these are all the questions that I wrote down, but I still remember some of the other questions that you guys asked. And one of them was, what was the best cuisine that I've tasted while I've been abroad? And I will definitely say, like, you know, having Spanish food in Spain is just incredible. So when we were in Barcelona and Madrid and Ibiza, like, there was so many good, like, we went to so many tapas places and there was such good food. And also when I've been to Israel, one time I had like the best hummus in my life, like, and I have had a lot of hummus because I love it, but this one place that someone took me to in Israel was so, and this was like years ago, this was probably 10 years ago, and I still remember it. I think I made an Instagram post like holding the bowl of hummus, like saying this was the best hummus I've ever had, and it was 10 years ago and I still remember it. So yeah, I'd have to say Spain and Israel have had really, really good cuisines. I'm trying to think if I can remember what other questions you guys have asked me. One question was, what are my favorite clothing stores? I love shopping on Lulu's, online, Willow Boutique, which I did a whole video about. I've recently started shopping a bit at Anthropologie, which I really like. I love a good Nordstrom shopping trip. Nordstrom will always be a place that, you know, I haven't really shopped there recently, but I have, you know, so much nostalgia when I think about going to Nordstrom with my mom. What else? And H&M and Forever 21. I enjoy shopping at those stores as well. Trying to think if I can think off the top of my head of any other questions that you guys had for me. I think that's it. If you guys, I hope you guys love this video. I can definitely do a part 2 where I can go through any of the questions that I missed for this round. So if you like this video, we can totally do a round 2. And thank you so much for your support, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.